Hey, how's it going, everybody? Donnie coming to you from Masao, Japan, Pinku Style Garage. Made a post yesterday with a Supra behind me, showing some numbers. The other day I figured out that the timing or something with the paperwork was off a little bit. Talked to the company and everything, and they're actually working on the fix for it. I haven't had too many people here outside of the promotional stuff I did before and the dyno party I did the other day, so there's not a ton of numbers out there that are wrong. So anyway, the numbers out there, the numbers are correct. It's just the headings are a little bit off. So I'm gonna break some stuff down using Joshua Meadows' car, who won first place at the thing. So everybody's engine order, that's the power you actually made. Before I get into all the stuff right there, everybody out there who doesn't know, a dyno is a very expensive tool to measure your power. Today they got these things where you can put them on your phone and things like that and measure power, but it's not accurate. It's using GPS for speed and velocity and a bunch of calculations. So inside of dyno, there's a computer that does a lot of calculations based off how fast you spin the rollers. It's an inertial dyno. The speed is measured off of how fast you can turn the rollers, and the rollers have a weight that's calculated and all that stuff, blah blah blah. So for the guys who want to get analytical out there, you can go do your research on it. I'm not here to teach you how that works. I know how it works, but there was just some things. It's still pretty fresh, and I want to get ahead of this before we get too deep in there and have guys around town with incorrect numbers, which I'll say they're incorrect because the wheel horsepower is incorrect, but the actual power measured is very darn accurate. And I used a chaser to verify the bone stock car, and it was pretty accurate. I think plus or minus 1 or 2 horsepower, so that's pretty damn good. It's newer technology, so it's cool. So anyway, I'm using Meadows' car, who won first place. Got it written down here. All right, so it stated it was 488, and 488.4 is what we used to determine who was the winner. That was the engine power, crank horsepower. So that's the power when you guys measure. And a lot of companies will use the crank horsepower to promote a car because it looks more power, it seems more, it sells more. So some companies out there will use the crank horsepower to actually put that as wheel horsepower, and it's inaccurate. You're going to lose no matter what. You're going to lose power through the drivetrain. So if you got all-wheel drive, you're going to lose more power than front-wheel drive. With the GTR, for example, we ran in the rear-wheel drive. It's an all-wheel drive car, so naturally, if you have 2 wheels moving forward and you got a different dyno, it's going to spin the barrels faster. It's going to make more power. So saying it to say you will make more power in an all-wheel drive configuration versus a FR configuration. Or let's say you got a Subaru. For a Subaru, if you're going to, for now I only have a two-wheel drive dyno. The all-wheel drive dyno is coming. So for Subaru, if I'm going to measure the power, and the guy wants the most accurate power, I'm actually going to measure it from the front, because the front, the power is more front bias than it is rear, and you can tell by the size of the diff. Subarus have an R160, R180 diff. It's not going to transmit all that power to the rear, so that means the power is being split. More is going to the front bias than to the rear. So same example for the 4G63 Evo. If you look at the transmission casing, Evo has a really big diff in the front and also equal size diff in the back, so you kind of can pick and choose what you want to do with that. But you'll get into computers and things like if it senses the front wheel spinning and things like that. So I'm not going to do a lot of tricks here, because outside of the GTR, putting the power to the rear, you're going to have computers going whack and things going bad, and you can also mechanically break some. So I'll wait till I get the all-wheel drive dyno in. I don't got time to also be pulling stuff out. That's why I got the all-wheel drive dyno coming. That way you can load up on all-wheel drive, get your numbers, and leave. All right, so Meadows, again, he had 48. For the engine horsepower, broken down, if you use the kilowatts, the horsepower, it was 373.87 wheel horsepower. And then you have the a loss of 114.5, which I did from the calculation. So if you look on the chart right there, it's saying 114.7, which that's pretty accurate. So the loss in power he had was 114 wheel horsepower through the drivetrain and things like that, diff and stuff like that, and wheel size, tire grip and stuff like that. So those are all going to factor in. And then you break down the torque and everything. The torque was 380 from the 522, it says right there, for Newton meters. Newton meters, you guys know about that. Newton meters to foot pounds is going to be 385.5. So Meadows on the day, wheel power 373.3 or 373.8 if you want to round up, being technical, or in 386 or 385.5 or 386 torque. All right, so again, for the biggest reason I want to make the videos kind of to get ahead of things. Again, it's not a big deal because again, nobody to this point. I mean, and I want you guys to come here, get a dyno thing set up and everything, and I'll do the conversions for you. That way you don't have to go to Google and things like that. But if you want to, again, this is a software. We can't do much about it. I will ask for a couple changes if I can get that, implement that, because the calculated horsepower loss is accurate to horsepower, not kW. So it's kind of like on the kW side, if a guy was using kilowatts, he would be confused as well. So anyway, getting ahead of it, making a little video about it and everything. So again, with all that being said, this is marketing. So go ahead and hit me up down on PinkuStyle.com. I will be scheduling once a week for dyno pulls. If you just want dyno pulls, I have a certain day, maybe twice, but I have a certain day because again, I got a lot of work going on. I got cars being utilized for the dyno and things like that. So if I got the dyno full up, then we won't have those dyno pulls going on. But again, dyno pulls are pretty much one of the few services that I got that you can come in and out. There's not a lot. Most things drop off and leave. Depending on the timing, you will drop the car off and leave. If you'd like to be here to film for your own Instagram, stuff like that, then we can set it up to match my schedule. So essentially, you come here, I do a quick check, the car is good to go, it gets on a dyno, we strap it down, I strap it down, I'll use you for assistance and for safety and stuff like that. And get your power numbers, you pay, you leave. I mean, essentially all that can happen in 30 minutes. It's a very quick process. It's not a hub dyno, it's a roller dyno, so you're not gonna take wheels off and stuff like that. If you got the third highest horsepower and you're banking on it and you post it all around the internet and you got your jollies up, you're still the third highest horsepower in a day, so no harm, no foul. A lot of companies will actually use those higher numbers to actually boost people's egos. And as you can see on that paper too, the correction. The correction is off. I don't use any correcting. I don't want any correcting because if it's hot, it's hot. If it's gonna be cold, it's cold. So we're not going to do the 2% correction and all that. I'm not doing that stuff because that's inaccurate and that's also inflating people's egos and inflating numbers. That's not what I'm after because again, I want to make sure the work is accurate, make sure the numbers are accurate as well, and also bringing it all back to the beginning. It's an estimating tool, and even with a dyno, you still got to put these things on a track and get numbers. Numbers are a numbers thing, but when I tune, certain tunes are going to be tuned here and also still going to be utilizing MSP ESP because boots on ground matters. Again, like I said before, there's dudes here in Misawa, for example, because most of you guys watching are in Misawa. There's guys in Misawa that can run 30, 40, 50 minutes on that treadmill at the Powder Fitness Center, but can't run around base because you got wind, you got undulations, you got down, you got up. The ground is harder than the treadmill, so it doesn't matter how far you can run on a treadmill. Or what it matters is how far you can run on the actual ground, and what it matters for your car is how fast your car is on the track because numbers on the dyno, that's numbers. Your suspension's not working, your arrow's not working, different things out there is not working to counteract the force being propelled forward. Air and all that stuff reacts on that and everything. So it is really scientific, and everybody's gonna say different things, but that's what I believe. I'd rather have a car performing better on the track than versus on a dyno because dyno, again, you're strapped down, you're not going anywhere. So again, long-winded explanation on it. I wanted to just be a minute, but again, just giving you guys some knowledge on that. And again, down at PinkuStyle.com if you want to get your dyno set up. All-wheel drive dyno is processing, waiting on some parts, and it will be here. So I will have the all-wheel drive dyno operating and the two-wheel drive dyno operating. So, yeah, man, just making it happen. A lot of stuff's going on. So again, thank you guys for the support. Everybody who does support, and for the guys who want to, you know, maybe the guys that are on a fence. They heard some stuff out there. Whatever you heard is probably true, but you didn't hear the whole story. And the thing is, I'm blunt, I'm straight to the point, and I said to all you guys that come here before, I have no time for BS. I want to put out a good product, and I want to get on and get my cars built and do what I got to do. So if you heard something bad, it's because I probably hurt somebody's feelings. It's not my problem, it's their problem. And the problem you having is you're listening to them and not to me. So you want to set up an appointment to see what it's about. You're not IG, I'm not going to explain myself to you, but at the same time, I'll let you know how my business flows and how I can help you. So again, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for the support. It's going to be Dyno signing off from South Japan. See you guys later. Peace.